Here are several categories: measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion and variability, probability and distributions, data types and classification, data measurement scales, data visualization and interpretation, sampling techniques, hypothesis testing, correlation and regression, correlation and association, descriptive statistics, statistical inference or inferential statistics, experimental design and bias, non-parametric test, time series analysis, spatial statistics and GIS, data analytics and machine learning. Now the first category, measures of central tendency. The first MCQ question is, which of the following is not a measure of central tendency? Mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Here the right answer will be standard deviation, because all are central tendency but standard deviation is different. If all values in a dataset are the same, then the mean, median and mode will be different, equal, unrelated, undefined. Here the right answer will be equal, means mean, median, mode will be equal if all values in the dataset are the same. Question number 3, the median of the dataset 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is 15, 20, 25, 22.5. Here the right answer will be 20, because this is the middle value, so it is the median. Question 4, if in a perfectly symmetric distribution, which measure of central tendency is most appropriate? Symmetric distribution, mean, median, mode, any of the above. Here the right answer will be any of the above will be the measure of central tendency which will be most appropriate. Question number 5, if the mean is greater than the median in a data set, the distribution is likely symmetric, left skewed, right skewed, normal. Here the right answer will be right skewed. Means if this is the median, the mean value is here, so the skewness will be like this, rightly skewed. And the mean is best used when the data contains outliers, the data is normally distributed, the data is skewed, the sample size is very small. Here the right answer will be the data is normally distributed. The median is the most frequently occurring value in a dataset, middle value in an ordered dataset, arithmetic average of a dataset, highest value in a dataset. The right answer will be middle value in an ordered dataset. The mode is useful for describing categorical data, finding the average of a dataset, identifying outliers in a dataset, analyzing time series data. Here the right answer will be describing categorical data. Question number 9, in a perfectly symmetrical distribution, the mean, median and mode are different, all equal, unrelated, used interchangeably. Here the right answer will be all equal in a perfectly symmetrical distribution. Question number 10, the three main measures of central tendency are mean, range and mode, mean, median and mode, mean, variance, standard deviation, mode, standard deviation, correlation. Here the right answer will be mean, median and mode are the main measures of central tendency. Question number 11, the median is the most frequently occurring value in a dataset, middle value when data is arranged in order, sum of all values divided by the total number of values, in difference between the highest and lowest value. Here the right answer will be middle value when data is arranged in order. Question number 12, when a distribution is positively skewed, the mean is less than the median, equal to the median, greater than the median, equal to the mode. Here the right answer will be greater than the median. When the distribution is positively skewed, means rightly skewed. And the harmonic mean is best suited for skewed distribution, ratios and rates, categorical data, symmetric distribution. Here the right answer will be ratios and rates. Measures of dispersion and variability. All mean, median, modes are measures of central tendency, and standard deviations, range, etc. are the measures of dispersion or variability. Question number 14, which measure of dispersion? Which measure of dispersion is affected by most extreme values? Range, variance, standard deviation, interquartile range. Here the right answer will be range. Question number 15. The standard deviation in a square root of mean, variance and median range. Here the right answer will be standard deviation is square root of variance. And the interquartile range, IQR, measures the spread of the data set, the middle 50% of the data set, upper half of the data set, lower half of the data set. Here the right answer will be the middle 50% of the data set, means the range between first quartile and third quartile is the interquartile range. If the variance of a data set is 16, in what is the standard deviation? Standard deviation will be 4, because square root of variance is the standard deviation. Question 18. Which measure is used to compare variability between data sets with different units? Mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variation and interquartile range. Which measure is used to compare variability between data sets with different units? The right answer will be coefficient of variation. The standard deviation, measures the central tendency of the data, the spread of data around the mean, the relationship between two variables, the frequency of occurrences. So the right answer will be the spread of data around the mean. The variance is defined as the square root of the standard deviation, the square of the standard deviation, and the difference between the highest and lowest value, the sum of all observations. Here the right answer will be the square of standard deviation, because the square root of variance is standard deviation, so square of standard deviation will be the variance. Question number 21. The range of a data set is the difference between the largest and smallest values, the sum of all values divided by the number of values, the most frequent value in a data set, the standard deviation squared. Here the right answer will be the range is the difference between the largest and smallest values. Question number 22. The interquartile range, IQR, is the difference between Q3 and quartile, third quartile and first quartile, and the total number of data points, the sum of all quartiles, and the standard deviation of a data set. Here the right answer will be the difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1, means first and third quartile. Question number 23. The range is calculated as the sum of all values, the difference between highest and lowest value, the average of all values, the most frequently occurring values. The right answer will be range, the difference between the highest and lowest value. The standard deviation measures the most frequent value, the spread of data around the mean, the middle value in an ordered data set, the difference between two medians. So the right answer will be the spread of data around the mean is the standard deviation. Question number 25. The coefficient of variation, CV, is used to compare the central tendency of different data sets, the relative variability between data sets, the probability of an event, the mean of a data set. Here the right answer will be the relative variability between data sets. Question number 26. Which measure of dispersion is least affected by outliers? Range, variance, interquartile range, standard deviation. The right answer will be interquartile range. Question category probability and distributions. Question number 27. The probability of an event occurring is always between 0 and 1, minus 1 and plus 1, 1 to 10, 1, 0 to 100. The right answer will be 0 to 1. Means it is a relative. Question 28. In a normal distribution, the total area under the curve is 0.5, 1, 10, 100. Here the right answer will be 1. 29. The mean, median, mode of a normal distribution are different, equal, unrelated, undefined. Here the right answer will be equal. Question number 30. If an event has a probability of 0, it means it will definitely occur, it will never occur, it is likely to occur, it has equal chances of occurring or not occurring. Here the right answer will be it will never occur. Definitely occur is not the right answer. The right answer is it will never occur. So probability 0. Question 31. If a normal distribution is standardized, its mean becomes 0, 1, minus 1, 100. Here the right answer will be 0 if standardized. Question 32. The normal distribution is skewed to the right, symmetric and bell-shaped, uniformly distributed, skewed to the left. Here the right answer will be symmetric and bell-shaped. Question 33. The mean and variance of a standard normal distribution are 0 and 1, 1 and 1, 0, 0, 10 and 1. Here the right answer will be 0 and 1. Mean and variance of a standard normal distribution. Mean is 0, variance will be the 1. Question 34. The Poisson distribution is used for continuous random variables counting the number of occurrences in a fixed interval, measuring the probability of failure, comparing means of two datasets. Here the right answer will be counting the number of occurrences in a fixed interval. Question 35. If a dataset follows a binomial distribution, it must have only two possible outcomes per trial, follow a normal curve, have an increasing mean, be negatively skewed. Here the right answer will be have only two possible outcomes per trial is binomial distribution. Question number 36. The exponential distribution is commonly used for modeling. Modeling what? At waiting times between events, categorical data, skewed distributions, small sample sizes. Here the right answer will be waiting times between events. Question 37. The probability of an event occurring is always between 0 and 1. Question 38. The sum of probabilities of all possible outcomes in a sample space is 0, 100, infinity. It will be 1. If two events A and B are independent, then probability of A union B equal to probability A plus probability B. Probability of A union B equal to probability of A into probability of B. Probability of A by B equal to probability of A minus probability of B. Probability of A union B equal to probability A by B. Here the right answer will be probability A union B equal to probability of A into probability of B. Question 40. Normal distribution is skewed to the left, skewed to the right, symmetrical and bell-shaped, uniform. Here the right answer will be symmetrical and bell-shaped. 41. The mean and median of a normal distribution are always equal, always different, unrelated. Mean is greater than the median. Here the right answer will be always equal, the mean and median of normal distribution. Question 42. The probability of an event ranges between 0 and 1. Question number 43. If two events A and B are independent, then their joint probability is given by probability of A plus probability of B, probability of A into probability of B, probability of A minus probability of B, probability A by B. The right answer will be probability of A into probability of B. Question number 44. In a normal distribution, approximately 68% of the data lies within one standard deviation of the mean, 2 standard deviation of the mean, 3 standard deviation of the mean, 4 standard deviation of the mean. Here the right answer will be 1 standard deviation of the mean. Question number 45. The Poisson distribution is useful for modeling continuous data, number of occurrences of an event in fixed interval, proportions of population, standard deviation. Here the right answer will be the number of occurrences of an event in a fixed interval. Question number 46. The law of large numbers states that as a sample size increases, its mean approaches the population mean. Large numbers always follow a normal distribution. The probability of extreme events increases, the standard deviation decreases. Here the right answer will be as a sample size increases, its mean approaches the population mean. Question 47. The probability of an event ranges between 0 and 1. Question 48. If two events cannot occur simultaneously, they are called independent events, dependent events, mutually exclusive events, conditional events. So the right answer will be mutually exclusive events. Question 49. The sum of probabilities of all possible outcomes of an experiment is always 0, 1, between 0 and 1, greater than 1. Here the right answer will be 1. Question number if your 6-sided die is rolled, the probability of getting an even number is half, 1/3, 1/6, 2/3. Here the right answer will be half, because in a 6-sided die there is 3 even number and 3 odd number. So even number getting probability is half and odd number is also the half, means 0.5. The first question on the category probability. Question 51. The probability of an event is always between -1 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and infinity, in minus infinity and infinity. Here the right answer will be all the times the probability will be within 0 and 1. If two events cannot occur simultaneously, they are called independent events, dependent events, mutually exclusive events, equally likely events. Here the right answer will be mutually exclusive events. If probability of A is 0.6 and probability of B is 0.4 and A and B are independent, then probability of A union B is 1, 0.24, 0.6, 0.4. Here the right answer will be 0.24, because probability of A union B equal to probability of A into probability of B for independent events. So 0.6 into 0.4 equal to 0.24. Question 54. The probability of getting a sum of 7 when rolling two fair dice is 1/6, 1/36, 1/12, 1/8. Here the right answer will be 1/6. Means 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 1 and 6, like this. Question 55. The probability of an event occurring is always between 0 and 1. Question 56. If two events are mutually exclusive, then they can occur together. The probability of both occurring is 1. The probability of both occurring is 0. So they are independent. Here the right answer will be the probability of both occurring is 0. Means at the same time both cannot be occur. Question 57. The probability of rolling an even number on a fair dice sided 6-sided die is half, 1/3, 2/3, 1/6. The right answer will be half, means 1/2. Question 58. The law of large numbers states that as the number of trials increases, the experimental probability approaches the theoretical probability. The probability of an event occurring decreases, the variance of the sample decreases, the mean of the sample equals 0. Here the right answer will be the experimental probability approaches the theoretical probability when the number of trials increases. Now the category data types and classification. Question number 59. Qualitative data refers to data that can be measured numerically, data that describes attributes or characteristics, data with decimal values only, data that follows a normal distribution. Here the right answer will be data that describes attributes or characteristics. Question number 60. Which of the following is an example of nominal data? Height of students, blood type, test scores, temperature in Celsius. Here the right answer will be blood type. ABO is the example of nominal data. Question number 61. Ordinal data differs from nominal data because it has no meaningful order. It is always numerical. It can be ranked but lacks precise differences between values. It follows a continuous distribution. Here the right answer will be it can be ranked but lacks precise differences between values when it is nominal data, which is different from ordinal data. Question 62. Interval data differs from ratio data because it lacks a true 0 point. It has only two categories. It cannot be used in statistical analysis. It is always positively skewed. Here the right answer will be it lacks a true 0 point. Question number 63. Temperature measured in Fahrenheit is an example of nominal scale, nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, ratio data. Here the right answer will be interval data. Question category data measurement scales. The four types of measurement scales in statistics are nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, discrete, continuous, nominal, ordinal, standard, mean, variance and ratio, categorical, numerical, interval and probability. Here the right answer will be nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Question number 65. Which scale of measurement classifies data into categories with no meaningful order? Nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Here the right answer will be nominal. Question 66. Which measurement scale allows meaningful addition and subtraction but does not have a true zero? Nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Here the right answer will be interval. Question 67. Temperature in Celsius is an example of which of the measurement? It will be nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, interval. The ratio scale differs from interval scale because it lacks a true zero, has a true zero and allows meaningful division and multiplication. Only ranks values it used only for categorical data. Here the right answer will be has a true zero and allows meaningful division and multiplication. Now the category data visualization and interpretation. Question number 69. A box plot is used to show the relationship between two variables, the distribution of a dataset including outliers, the trend over time, the mean and standard deviation. Here the right answer will be the distribution of a dataset including outliers. Question 70. A histogram displays the mean of a dataset, the frequency distribution of numerical data, the correlation between two variables, the relationship between categorical data. Here the right answer will be the distribution, frequency distribution of numerical data. Question 71. In a right skewed histogram, the tail is longer on the left side, right side, middle, both sides. Here the right answer will be right side. Question 72. Which of the following is used to display categorical data? Scatter plot, line graph, bar chart, historic histogram. Here the right answer will be bar chart. Question 73. A scatter plot is used to show the relationship between two quantitative variables, display categorical data, summarize large amounts of data, show probability distribution. Here the right answer will be show the relationship between two quantitative variables. Question 74. Which chart type is best for displaying categorical data? Line chart, bar chart, scatter plot, histogram. Here the right answer will be bar chart. Question 75. A box plot is useful for showing the distribution and spread of data, displaying time series, trends, comparing correlation between two variables, analyzing population variance. Here the right answer will be showing the distribution and spread of data. Question 76. In a histogram, the height of a bar represents the mean of data, the frequency of occurrences, the standard deviation, the p-value. Here the right answer will be the frequency of occurrences. 77 question. The scatter plot is used to show the relationship between two numerical variables, represent categorical data, display the distribution of a single variable, compare frequency distribution. Say the right answer will be show the relationship between two numerical variables. Question 78. A right skewed distribution has a longer right tail, a longer left tail, a symmetric shape, a bell curve. Here the right answer will be a longer right tail. Question 79. A histogram is used to visualize Categorical data, continuous data distribution, time series data, regression model. So the right answer will be continuous data distribution. Question 80. A box plot helps to detect relationship between variables, outliers and data spread trends over time, the correlation coefficient. Here the right answer will be outliers and data spread. Question 81. The best chart for comparing categorical data is line graph, pie chart, bar chart, scatter plot. Here the right answer will be bar chart. Question 82. In a scatter plot, a strong positive correlation appears as downward trend, horizontal line, the tight upward trend, randomly scattered points. Say the right answer will be the right tight upward trend. Question 83. A histogram is used to represent categorical data frequency the distribution of numerical data relationship between two variables, a summary of mean values. Say the right answer the frequency distribution of numerical data. 84. A box plot or box and whisker plot is useful for showing the mean of a dataset, displaying measures of central tendency only, identifying outliers and spread of data, comparing two unrelated datasets. Say the right answer will be identifying outliers and spread of data. Question 85. A scatter plot is used to compare frequencies of categories each show the distribution of data, visualize relationship between two numerical variables, display time series data. Here the right answer will visualize relationships between two numerical variables. Question 86. In a bar chart, the bars represent the relationship between two variables, frequency of counts of categorical data, the average of data set, standard deviation of data. Here the right answer will be frequency of counts of categorical data. Question category data visualization and descriptive statistics. Again the question is 87. A histogram is used to display categorical continuous numerical data relationship between two variables. Here the right answer will be continuous numerical data. Question 88. The box plot is useful for identifying median, quartiles and outliers, comparing time series data showing the frequency of categorical data, displaying correlations. Here the right answer will be identifying median, quartiles and outliers. Question 89. A positively skewed distribution has a longer tail on the right, a longer tail on the left, symmetrical shape, no variation. The right answer will be longer tail on the right. Question 90. The coefficient of variation CV is useful for comparing variability between datasets with different units, finding the median of a dataset, measuring the standard errors, determining skewness. So the right answer will be comparing variability between datasets with different units. Sampling techniques category 91 question. A sample is a subset of the population, entire population, a group with unknown categories, characteristics always equal to the population size. Here the right answer will be a subset of the population. Question 92. Which type of sampling ensures every number of a population has an equal chance of selection? Systematic sampling, stratified sampling, random sampling, convenience sampling. Here the right answer will be random sampling. Question 93. The main purpose of identifying inferential statistics is describe a dataset, summarize a dataset, make predictions about a population, collect raw data. Here the right answer will be make predictions about a population. Question 94. Which graphical representation is best suited for displaying categorical data? Histogram, box plot, bar chart, scatter plot. The right answer will be bar chart. Question 95. A positively skewed distribution has a longer right tail, longer left tail, no tail, equal tails on both sides. So the right answer will be longer right tail. Question 96. Which sampling method ensures every individual in a population has an equal chance of selection? Stratified sampling, random, systematic sampling, simple random sampling, convenient sampling. Here the right answer will be simple random sampling. Question 96. In stratified sampling, the population is divided into homogeneous groups, random clusters, unequal subgroups, experimental and control groups. Here the right answer will be homogeneous groups. Question 98. Systematic sampling selects every nth individual from the population individual based on researcher's preference, sample based on convenience, randomly selected individuals. So the right answer will be nth individual from the population, systematic sampling. Question 99. Cluster sampling is most useful when the population is homogeneous, the population is large and geographically dispersed. The sample size is very small, every number has an equal probability of the selection. Here the right answer, the population is large and geographically dispersed. Question number 100. Which of the following is a non-probability sampling method? Simple random sampling, cluster sampling, convenience sampling, stratified sampling. Here the right answer will be convenience sampling. Question number 101. A sample is a complete set of data, subset of a population, measurement error, type of data visualization. Here the right answer will be subset of a population. Here the population means the population or all data, not human population. Question number 102. In simple random sampling, each number of population has an equal chance of being selected. It's selected based on predefined criteria. It's chosen systematically. It's selected non-randomly. Here the right answer will be has an equal chance of being selected. Question number 103. Stratified sampling involves dividing the population into homogeneous groups and selecting samples from each group, selecting every nth person from a list, choosing only extreme values, collecting data without any specific method. Here the right answer will be dividing the population into homogeneous groups and selecting samples from each group. Question number 104. Which of the following is a non-random sampling method? Simple random sampling, cluster sampling, stratified sampling, purposive sampling. Here the right answer will be purposive sampling. Question number 105. A large sample size generally leads to increased bias, more accurate estimates, higher variability, increased probability of type 1 error. Here the right answer will be more accurate estimates. Question number 106. The main purpose of sampling in statistics is to collect all data from a population, make inferences about a population based on a subset, increase data complexity, reduce the need for statistical tests. Here the right answer would be make inferences about a population based on subset. Question number 107. A simple random sample ensures each individual in the population has an equal chance of being selected. Only specific groups in the population are chosen. The sample size is always equal to the population size. Non-random selection of individuals. So the right answer will be each individual in the population has an equal chance of being selected. Question number 108. Stratified sampling is preferred when the population consists of homogeneous groups, the population consists of heterogeneous subgroups, data collection is costly, the sample size is very large. Here the right answer will be the population consists of heterogeneous subgroups. Question 109. Stratified sampling involves selecting every nth individual in the population, dividing the population into groups and sampling from each group, choosing individuals based on availability, selecting a sample without any randomization. Here the right answer will be dividing the population into groups and samplings from each group. 110. The main advantage of cluster sampling over other methods is that it ensures a perfectly random selection. It is more cost effective and practical for large populations. It always reduces the most accurate results. It eliminates bias completely. Here the right answer will be it is more cost effective and practical for large populations. Increasing the sample size will decrease the standard error, increase the standard deviation, increase the p-value, decrease the mean. Here the right answer will be decrease the standard error. Now the category is hypothesis testing. Question 112. The null hypothesis H0 states that there is no significant effect or difference. There is significant effect or difference. The sample mean is always greater than the population mean. The probability of an event is 1. Here the right answer will be there is no significant effect or difference. Question 113. A type 1 error occurs when true null hypothesis is rejected, a false null hypothesis is accepted, the sample size is too large, there is not enough evidence to conclude anything. Here the right answer will be a true null hypothesis is rejected. Then the type 1 error occurs. Question 114. The p-value in hypothesis testing measures the probability of the null hypothesis being true, the probability of obtaining the observed results if null hypothesis is true, the confidence level of the test sample size affected. The right answer will be the probability of obtaining the observed results if null hypothesis is true. 115. A hypothesis test with a 5% significance level alpha equal to 0.05 means there is a 5% chance of committing a type 2 error. There is a 5% probability of rejecting a true null hypothesis. The confidence level is 90%. The null hypothesis is always accepted. Here the right answer will be there is a 5% probability of rejecting a true null hypothesis. Question 116. If the p-value is less than the chosen significance level, we should accept the null hypothesis, reject the null hypothesis, increase the sample size, change the hypothesis. Here the right answer will be reject the null hypothesis. If the p-value is less than the chosen significance level, we should reject the null hypothesis. Question number 117. The null hypothesis A0 states that there is a significant difference between groups. There is no significant difference between groups. The sample size is too small. The data is normally distributed. The right answer will be there is no significant differences between groups. Question 118. A type 1 error occurs. So when the null hypothesis is rejected when it is true, the null hypothesis is accepted when it is false. The sample size is too large. There is no error in the hypothesis tested. The right answer will be the null hypothesis is rejected when it is true. Question number 119. The p-value in hypothesis testing measures the probability of making a type 1 error, the probability that the null hypothesis is true, the probability of obtaining a test statistic as extreme as the observed one, the probability of type 2 error. The probability of obtaining a test statistic as extreme as observed one. Question 120. A confidence level of 95% means there is a 95% chance that the null hypothesis is true. There is a 95% probability of obtaining the sample results. There is a 95% chance that the true population parameter lies within the confidence interval. The sample size is 2 correct. Here the right answer will be there is a 95% chance that the population parameter lies within the confidence interval. Question 121. If the p-value is less than 0.05, we typically fail to reject the null hypothesis, reject the null hypothesis, increase the sample size, change the hypothesis. Here the right answer will be reject the null hypothesis. Question 122. A p-value less than 0.5 is in hypothesis testing generally means the null hypothesis is accepted, the alternative hypothesis is rejected, the result of is statistically significant, the data is normally distributed. Here the right answer will be the result is statistically significant. Question 123. A one-tailed test is used when testing for a specific direction of effect. Hypothesis has no specific direction, the sample size is very large, the data is non-normally distributed. The right answer will be testing for a specific direction of effect. Question 124. The chi-square test is commonly used for analyzing relationships between categorical variables, testing means of two groups, predicting numerical values, estimating population parameters. So the right answer will be analyzing relationships between categorical variables. Question 125. If the p-value less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis, fail to reject the null hypothesis, accept the null hypothesis, increase the confidence interval level. Here the right answer will be reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis as the statistically significant. Question 126. A type 2 error occurs when the true null hypothesis is rejected, a false null hypothesis is not rejected, a correct decision is made, the sample size is too large. Here the right answer will be false null hypothesis is not rejected. Question 127. A p-value less than 0.5 suggests that the null hypothesis should be rejected, the null hypothesis should be accepted, there is no statistical significance, the sample size is too small. Here the right answer will be the null hypothesis should be rejected. Now the category correlation and regression. Question 128. The correlation coefficient R ranges between -1 to 1, 0 to 1, minus infinity to infinity, 0 to infinity. Here the right answer will be -1 to +1. Question 129. If two variables have a correlation coefficient of R equal to -0.9, the relationship is strong and positive, strong and negative, weak and positive, no correlation. Here the right answer will be strong and negative. Question 130. In simple linear regression, the dependent variable is the predictor variable, the response variable, the independent variable not needed. The dependent variable is response variable. Question 131. If the regression coefficient is 0, means slope is 0, then there is no relationship between x and y. There is a strong positive correlation. The variables move in opposite directions. The variance is maximized. The right answer will be there is no relationship between x and y variables. Question 132. Correlation measures the difference between two variables, strength and direction of relationship between two variables, causation between variables, variability of a data set. The right answer is strength and direction of a relationship between two variables. Question 133. Correlation coefficient R of -1 indicates no correlation, and a perfect negative correlation, a weak positive correlation, a perfect positive correlation. The right answer will be a perfect negative correlation. Question 134. A simple linear regression. The dependent variable is predicted using a constant value, a single independent variable, multiple independent variables, a random values. Here the right answer will be a single independent variables. Question 135. The coefficient of determination R square measures the strength of the correlation, the percentage of variation in the dependent variable explained by the independent variable, the mean of the data set, the probability of rejecting the null hypothesis. Here the right answer is the percentage of variation in the dependent variable explained by the independent variable. Question 136. In a simple linear regression equation y equal to a plus bx, b represents the intercept, a slope of the regression line, the slope of the regression line, the correlation coefficient, the independent variable. Here the right answer will be the slope of the regression line. Question 137. A perfect positive correlation is represented by a coefficient of -1, 0, 1, 0.5. Here the right answer will be +1 or 1. Question 138. The coefficient of determination R square measures the percentage of variability in y explained by x, the standard deviation of residuals, the sum of squares of x, the range of y. Here the right answer will be the percentage of variability in y explained by x. Question 139. A heteroscedastic dataset in regression analysis means the variance of residuals is constant, the variance of residuals is not constant, the dataset has a normal distribution, that correlation coefficient is 0. Here the right answer will be the variance of residuals is not constant. Question 140. Regression analysis is used to determine relationships between variables, find the median of a dataset, describe the slope of a distribution, compute probabilities. Here the right answer will determine relationships between variables. This is the regression analysis. Question 141. In a simple linear regression model, the dependent variable is also called predictor, response, independent variable, constant. Here the right answer will be response variable. Question 142. The coefficient of determination R square value indicates how well the independent variable explains the dependent variable, the range of a dataset, the mode of the dataset, the probability of an event occurring. Here the right answer will be how well the independent variable explains the dependent variable. Question 143. Multicollinearity in regression analysis occurs When two or more independent variables are highly correlated, the dependent variable is not explained by any independent variable, the sample size is too small, the residuals are normally distributed. Here the right answer will be two or more independent variables are highly correlated. Question 144. The dependent variable in a regression model is the variable that is manipulated, the variable that is predicted or explained always equal to the independent variable not included in the analysis. So the right answer will be the variable that is predicted or explained. Question 145. In a simple linear regression equation y equal to a plus bx, b represents the dependent variable intercept the slope of the regression line, the residual value. Here the right answer will be the slope of the regression line. Question 146. A regression model with more than one independent variable is called simple regression, multiple regression, logistic regression, non-linear regression. Here the right answer will be multiple regression. Question 147. The coefficient of determination R square measures the strength of direction of correlation, the proportion of variance in the dependent variable explained by the independent variable, the standard deviation of residuals, the mean of the dataset. Here the right answer will be the proportion of variance in the dependent variable explained by the independent variables. Question 148. The correlation coefficient R measures the direction and strength of the linear relationship, the variance of a dataset, the central tendency of a dataset, the probability of an event occurring at the reference with the direction and strength of a linear relationship. Question 149. The least square method minimizes the sum of squared residual, the sum of absolute errors, the variance of the dependent variable, the standard deviation of the sample, and the right answer is sum of the squared residual. Question 150. A high R square value in a regression model means that independent variable explains most of the variation in the dependent variable and the data is not normally distributed. The mean of the data set is high, the sample size is too small. Here the right answer will be the independent variable explains most of the variation in the dependent variable. Question 151. A positive correlation means as one variable increases, the other decreases. As one variable increases, the other also increases. There is no relationship between variables. The two variables are independent. Here the right answer will be as one variable increases, the other also increases. Question 152. If the correlation coefficient R equal to minus 0.85, the relationship is strong negative correlation, a weak negative correlation, a strong positive correlation, no correlation. Here the right answer will be a strong negative correlation. Now the question category correlation and regression ended. Now the question category is statistical inference. Question 153. The central limit theorem states that the sum of large independent random variables is normally distributed. The mean and median of a dataset are equal. The sample mean is always greater than the population mean. Variability decreases with increasing sample size. Here the right answer will be the sum of large independent random variables is normally distributed. Question 154. The degrees of freedom for a t-test with a sample size of n is n, n-1, n plus 1, 2n. Here the right answer will be n minus 1. Question 155. The main difference between parametric and non-parametric tests is that parametric tests assume a specific distribution, non-parametric tests require normality. Parametric tests do not use probabilities, non-parametric tests are based on means. Here the right answer will be parametric tests assume a specific distribution. Question 156. Inferential statistics are used to summarize data, make predictions or generalizations about a population from a sample, organize numerical data, display graphical representations. Here the right answer will be make predictions or generalizations about a population from a sample. Question 157. The standard error of mean SEM measures the spread of data in a population, the accuracy of the sample mean in estimating the population mean, the range of a dataset, the probability of type 1 error. Here the right answer will be the accuracy of the sample mean in estimating the population mean. Question 158. Which of the following distributions is used for hypothesis testing when the sample size is small. Normal distribution, Poisson distribution, T distribution, uniform distribution. Here the right answer will be T distribution. Question 159. A confidence interval provides a single value estimate of a population parameter, a range of values within which the true population parameter is likely to lie, the probability of making a type 1 error, a way to test for correlation. Here the right answer will be a range of values within which the true population parameter is likely to lie. Question 160. The central limit theorem states that as sample size increases, the sample mean approaches the population mean, the standard deviation increases, the data becomes more skewed, variance is always zero. Here the right answer will be the sample mean approaches the population mean. Question 161. Inferential statistics helps describe characteristics of a dataset and make predictions about a population based on sample data, visualize data using graphs, compute the mean and median. Here the right answer will be make predictions about a population based on sample data. Question 162. The z-score represents the number of standard deviations a value is from the mean, the probability of an event occurring, the sum of squared residuals, the sample size. Here the right answer will be some number of standard deviations a value is from the mean. Question 163. The central limit theorem states that the distribution of sample means approaches a normal distribution as sample size increases. The population mean is always normally distributed. The variance of a sample is always the same as the population variance. The correlation between two variables remains constant. Here the right answer will be that distribution of sample means approaches a normal distribution as sample size increases. Question 164. The primary goal of inferential statistics is to describe a dataset, make conclusions about a population based on a sample, calculate means and medians, organize data into tables. The right answer will be make conclusions about a population based on sample. Question 165. A larger sample size generally decreases the margin of error, increases the probability of errors, has no effect on confidence intervals, reduces standard deviation. Here the right answer will be decreases the margin of error. Question 166. The law of large numbers states that as sample size increases, the sample mean gets closer to the population mean. The standard deviation increases, the probability of events decreases, the sample mean moves away from the population mean. Here the right answer will be is sample mean. The sample mean gets closer to the population mean. Question 167. The standard error measures the variation within a sample, the spread of the sample mean from the population mean, the correlation between two variables, the frequency of data points. So the right answer will be the spread of the sample from population mean. Now the category is experimental design and bias. Question 168. A control group in an experiment is used to introduce new variables, provide a basis for comparison, and randomly assign treatments, ensure all subjects receive the treatment. Here the right answer will be provide a basis for comparison. Question 169. Blinding in an experiment helps to increase measurement errors, prevent bias, reduce sample size, increase standard deviation. Here the right answer will be prevent bias. Question 170. The placebo effect occurs when participants respond positively to a fake treatment. The true treatment is not effective. Researchers intentionally change results. A statistical test fails to detect significance. So the right answer will be participants respond positively to a fake treatment. Question 171. In a double-blind experiment, only the researchers know who is in the treatment group. Both participants and researchers do not know who receives treatment. Only participants know their group assignment. No control group is used. Here the right answer will be both participants and researchers do not know who receives treatment. Question 172. Selection bias occurs when the sample does not accurately represent the population. Researchers manipulate experimental results. Randomization is properly used. The sample size is too large. The right answer will be the sample does not accurately represent the population. Now the question category, non-parametric tests. Question 173. Non-parametric tests are used when data follows a normal distribution, the sample size is large, data does not meet normality assumptions, or only ratio data is available. Here the right answer will be data does not meet normality assumptions. Question 174. The Whitney U test is used to compare two independent groups without assuming normality. More than two groups, two dependent samples, categorical data. Here the right answer will be two independent groups without assuming normality. Question 175. Which non-parametric test is used for paired samples? Crucial-Wallis test, Wilcoxon signed rank test, chi-square test, t-test. Here the right answer will be Wilcoxon signed rank test. Question 176. The chi-square test is commonly used to analyze differences in means between groups, relationships between categorical variables, correlations between numerical variables, variability in a dataset. Here the right answer will be relationship between categorical variables. Question 177. The Kruskal-Wallis test in the non-parametric alternative to t-test, ANOVA, regression analysis, Pearson correlation. Here the right answer will be ANOVA. Now the question category, time series analysis. Question 178. Time series data consists of data collected at different locations, data recorded over time at consistent intervals, randomly collected data points, data without any chronological order. Here the right answer will be data collected over time at consistent intervals, so that is called as time series analysis or time series data. Question 179. A trend in time series data refers to a consistent increase or decrease over time, seasonal fluctuations, random variations, a single data point. Here the right answer will be consistent increase or decrease over time. Question 180. Seasonality in time series data is characterized by random fluctuations, a repeating pattern at fixed intervals, an overall increasing trend, outliers in the dataset. Here the right answer will be a repeating pattern at fixed intervals. Question 181. Which method is commonly used for time series forecasting? ANOVA, moving average, chi-square test, correlation coefficient. Here the right answer will be moving averages. Question 182. Which statistical model is widely used for time series forecasting? Pearson correlation, ARIMA, autoregressive, integrated moving average, t-test, chi-square test. Here the right answer will be ARIMA or autoregressive integrated moving average. Question 183. Time series data is collected at the single point in time over successive time intervals from different groups in a population using random selection. Here the right answer will be over successive time intervals. Question 184. The moving average method is used to detect long-term trends in time series data, determine correlation between two variables, test statistical hypothesis, compute the median. Here the right answer will be detect long-term trends in time series data. Question 185. Seasonal variation in time series data occurs randomly due to consistent patterns and in different time periods, only in financial data, only when the sample size is too large. Here the right answer will be due to consistent patterns in the different time periods. Question 186. Exponential smoothing is used in time series forecasting, descriptive statistics, hypothesis testing, standard deviation calculation. Here the right answer will be the time series forecasting. Question 187. Time series data refers to data collected over different locations, data collected at different points in time, data collected without a specific order, data with only one variable. Here the right answer will be data collected at different points in time. Question 188. A trend in time series analysis represents random fluctuations in data, a long-term upward or downward movement in data, the seasonal variation of data, the moving average of data. Here the right answer will be long-term upward or downward movement in data. Question 189. Seasonal variation in a time series occur randomly over short irregular intervals in fixed and repetitive patterns over time only in business data. Here the right answer will be in fixed repetitive patterns over time. Question 190. In time series data, a trend refers to random fluctuations in data, a long-term upward or downward movement in data, seasonal variations in data, the correlation between two variables. Here the right answer will be long-term upward or downward movement in data. Question 191. A seasonal pattern in a time series dataset means the data values remains constant over time. There is a predictable fluctuation at fixed intervals. The time series has no pattern. The data is highly volatile. Here the right answer will be there is a predictable fluctuation at fixed intervals. Question 192. Autoregressive AR models are used in regression analysis, forecasting time series data based on past values, hypothesis testing, spatial analysis. Here the right answer will be forecasting time series data based on past values. Question 193. The moving average method is commonly used for reducing fluctuations in a time series, predicting outliers, computing probabilities, calculating sample size. Here the right answer will be reducing fluctuations in a time series. Now the category is Special Statistics and GIS. 194 question number. The spatial analysis data. In spatial analysis, data is not related to location, organized in tabular format, geographically referenced, not suitable for mapping. Here the right answer will be geographically referenced. Question 195. Choropleth maps are used to show terrain elevations, represent statistical data using color variations, display real-time weather patterns, identify underground water reserves. The right answer will be represent statistical data using color variations. Question 196. The nearest neighbor index (NNI) in spatial statistics is used to determine how points are distributed in space, calculate the correlation between two variables, measure the central tendency of data, define administrative boundaries. So the right answer will be determine how points are distributed in space. Question 197. In spatial interpolation, the purpose is to create missing data points based on known values, collect random samples, compare multiple data sets, visualize categorical data. Here the right answer will be create missing data points based on known values. Now the category data analysis and machine learning. Question number 198. In supervised learning, the model is trained using data with labeled outputs, unlabeled data, only numerical data, randomly selected inputs, data with labeled outputs is the correct answer. Question 199. A classification algorithm is used to predict continuous values, categorize data into predefined groups, identify missing values in a dataset, reduce the size of a dataset. Here the right answer will be categorize data into predefined groups. Question number 200. The k-means clustering method is used for classification of data, grouping similar data points together, identifying outliers, performing linear regression. Here the right answer will be grouping similar data points together. Question number 201. Principal component analysis (PCA) is commonly used for forecasting future values, reducing the number of variables in a dataset, detecting seasonality in time series data, creating random variables. Here the right answer will be reducing the number of variables in a dataset. That's all about the basic statistics MCQ. I want to request you, please like this video, share among your friends, and I will want to request once again to subscribe this channel and click on bell icon to get notification from my channel. Thank you so much.